Hey, it's your boy DJ Wolf here. I wanted to talk about, well, for Spreaker fans, if you check up my YouTube page, it's called For All to Hear TV, which is FORALL, the number 2, HEAR TV on YouTube. I talked about the explosive season 6 premiere of Iyanla Fix My Life, and it was involving the 19-year-old girl who found out that she had been kidnapped by this woman who she thought was her mother for 18 and a half years, and her real mother had her when she was 16, but she was snatched out of the hospital by this other woman who she later believed to be her maternal mother, and she wasn't. So if you want to check out the other video, by all means do. This is partly a synopsis from that and a continuation of what I talked about. Now, I will say this: Iyanla had good intentions about what she was trying to do. She wanted the girl to come and out of her feelings to express what she really felt about the situation. But the girl, being taught, I'm woman, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that, I don't have to express anything because I feel fine with it. And she really wasn't, to be honest. But what really disturbed me was the fact that her father, who once Iyanla informed him of her behavior when Iyanla was trying to reach out to her further and dig deep into the situation, he flat out denied that she was ever that way. In other words, the way the young girl exploded on Iyanla, he never seen that happen. I kind of find that hard to believe, considering the girl was kidnapped and her mother, her real mother, never showed up for the interview, yet she was the one that encouraged her daughter to go see Iyanla. In other words, the mother kind of felt like, oh, I don't need no help on this because I understand what happened. No, moms, you're hurting too. And according to Iyanla, the whole family was still hurting behind them, and they haven't quite coped with the situation. So in essence, to make a long story short, they all should have been there, mother, father, and daughter. Although the father was there, but he actually was, an indirect participant, by the way. And the girl herself had deep-seated issues. She really did. And, but everything she tried to express about herself and the way her father expressed her was not how she came off when Iyanla actually was able to expose what she was really feeling inside. And you could tell the girl obviously was raised in an environment where she was out of control. There's no structure. There was no structure in her life. I don't know if there's ever been any structure in life, even if she'd been raised by her parents, but that's not for me to say. But I can tell you right up front that apparently at some point there was no real structure in her life. She was cussed up a storm. She came off like she was gangster or something. I said, whoa, what's up with that? So it kind of did bother me a little bit. But for her father to sit there and say he never saw any of that behavior in the 10 months he, quote unquote, got to know her was bullshit. As far as I'm concerned. But nevertheless, she really got exposed for how she really was at that point. And I myself was kind of like, okay, so basically all the things that you try to pretend like you were, you really weren't about that. You were actually a lot more aggressive than you pretended that you were. And your father didn't seem to know what the heck was going on with you either. He claimed like he did. Well, he said he never saw you act that way before. I kind of find it a little bit impossible to have ever saw her act that way before, when she in turn had a lot of anger issues that was deep seated, and it was obvious, So, to make a long story short, the younger had issues. She had issues that I think Iyanla could not resolve anyway, because Iyanla, being a life coach, apparently is not equipped to be a psychotherapist, which she's not. That's just the bottom line. She's not equipped to do that type of work. She's just not. Period. And I like Iyanla, but I had a feeling at some point she was going to run into a snag with a person who just did not want to be helped. And what I think it is, I don't think she really understands, I think she understands the situation, but she doesn't really want to accept what it is. And she's not accepting it. She's not accepting the realization that this woman who did raise her as she was her own, but she was never legally her own in the first place, ever. And I think it hasn't quite wrapped around her head that it was right or wrong. She just knew that the woman was her mother for 18 and a half years. But what really angered me was her biological mother didn't even go there to stand behind her. And I think because the biological mother hasn't fully accepted the fact that her child is still very much around and alive, and that the fact that she regrets missing all of her childhood, the young girl's childhood years. It's really sad. I mean, I really felt for the girl, even though she was angry and went in on Iyanla for trying to help her, and actually at one point lied on Iyanla to her dad, talking about Iyanla tried to keep her locked up when Iyanla didn't. Iyanla said, look, I'm going to do this thing with you, but if you want to leave, you can leave. She actually said that. I heard her say it before she revealed to the young woman that she didn't want her father or boyfriend called her, or respond to her phone call. The girl was kind of an unwilling participant at this point anyway. I think she was just basically trying to get some type of analysis about it, something to get her to understand what was going on. But the girl pretending that she didn't have any issues was bullshit on the young woman's part. She knows she had issues about that. Why are you gonna lie? You did have issues. For any young person, any older person who found out that they had been kidnapped by birth, and all these years thinking that everything was about everything to do with her and her family, and find out that the woman was never even related to her, is devastating. Not only not related to her, but the woman took her as a baby against her own will. And there was one point where I watched it again and also realized that the young girl, I guess her mom, was offended because she saw Facebook pictures of the daughter with the woman who she thought was her mother in several photos. And my thing is, she has to understand a couple things here. The woman who kidnapped her, who raised her, was wrong. It was a criminal act, bottom line. And she also has to open her heart to her parents. Okay? She has to, as far as I'm concerned. You wouldn't even have a life in general if it wasn't for the fact that your parents had not given you life. But it's not your parents' fault that you were kidnapped. Okay? They had no idea that some nurse who worked there was going to actually take her away. I don't know. Let me back up. I don't know if that woman actually worked or not. Let me take that back. But it's scary though, man. It's really, really scary. I know when my son was born, they actually had tagged him, and the same tag that he had on him was the same tags that I had on me and my wife. And they immediately took a picture of him when he was born so that I could identify with him on top of all of that. And they had all the information right there. And I made sure I stopped by the nursery every day to go check him out. Every day. I had to. Because I want to make sure, hey, if I see him, and I was in the operator. See, that was the other thing. This is the reason why it's important for men. Not boys. Not little boys. Okay? But even if you're a father and you're 16, 15 or whatever, not that I'm encouraging that, because I'm not. At some point, you got to be a man about the situation. In the hospital, they actually, well, at least the hospital I was at when my son was born, they encourage you to be part of the procedure when the mother is giving birth. And I was there for my wife's birth. My wife was like, no, just knock me out. Well, they had to knock her out because she had a C-section. So she didn't have natural birth. But in any case, I was there for the whole thing. People thought, you gonna pass out? No, I ain't pass out. Not at all. I was there. I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to see what they were doing with my wife. And although it kind of creeped me out, but a little bit, but I took it like a man and dealt with it. But the men who actually are women who are having the babies by these guys, the men should be there wholeheartedly. They should be there, period. Because it's important as a man to be there when your baby see you for the first time and can identify with who they were listening to for 9 months. You know? It's important for that child to be able to identify with the mother and father. Period. You know, the child's not going to remember at first, but you know what I mean. Basically, it's important for the men to be there. You know the situation, you know what's going on, you know what your child looks like and all of that. But getting back to the situation, it was just sad. What was really even more sadder was Iyanla brought a girl who had been kidnapped, who was now 30 years old, a little before she was. I mean, no, I think about a decade before she was. I don't even remember that case. But, and she understood how to overcome her anger and all that stuff as well. But Iyanla brought her on a little too late, to be honest. And Iyanla also told a story about when she had found out about her biological parents weren't actually hers until she was 30. But she never really went to who raised her and how the situation happened. So, but nevertheless, it was a sad situation, man. It was sad it's really sad for both the parents and the daughter, because the parents missed the opportunity to be there in her life from the very beginning, and it was equally sad for the daughter who didn't know who her parents were and was told a lie about who she really was and the situation that she was in. Hopefully, eventually, she will get the real help that she needs to deal with this issue wholeheartedly, you know, and hopefully Iyanla and her staff will make sure that happens, you know, because this girl desperately does need help. She really does. She really does. And I really hope that she gets it, and I hope she can turn her life and her attitude around, because her attitude is definitely going to have to get checked, you know, regardless of who she was living with. The girl has a really, really nasty temper and attitude. And Iyanla, I think for the most part, was only trying to help. Even though I will admit that maybe this was a bit out of her league. You know. Which is why I do agree with Iyanla when she, at that point, when that girl got so testy and so angry at her, and was calling her all kind of names and stuff, she just backed away. She's like, you know what? I can't help somebody who don't want to be helped. And she's right. I'm not going to sit there and put any more energy into somebody who can't be helped. And speaking of help, if this fucking fool don't get behind me, get up off my ass the way he driving out here, he gonna get help real quick off the ground. Because these people out here in the morning, they do the same dumb shit every morning. And I'm like, I'm getting kind of tired about this shit. And they aggressively driving. I'm like, I ain't moving. Motherfucker, you a move, it's gonna be a problem. I was like, every day it's the same stupid shit. I mean, aggressively driving. Like, I'm doing 60-something in a 45 zone, which I shouldn't be, and I'm trying to slow down. This fool just right up on my ass. The old punk ass dude driving down here, man. It's just stupid the way these people drive. They drive with no kind of common sense or common courtesy or anything. But that's another story. But anyway, on a serious note, though, seriously, I hope that girl really does get the help that she needs, man. But Iyanla, Fix My Life this year is wow. I saw previews of some of the episodes for this season, man. She got her hands full. Just like she had her hands full with this young 19-year-old girl about that woman kidnapping her and trying to cope with the issue about her not being her mother. I saw some of the previews. Wow, crazy. I mean, but it's really, like I said, it's a show really about people trying to cope with issues that you've never seen. Black people try to cope with issues on this scale, especially exposed on television like this. It's never happened before. Iyanla, I will give her credit for that. But like I said, she's just a life coach. She's not a psychoanalyst. She's not a psychiatrist. She's not a psychotherapist. Not saying she's never had training in it, but she's not, as far as I know, she's not licensed in it. So. All right, guys, this is DJ Wolf. That's pretty much all I got for this podcast. Questions or comments, of course, djwolfonline at AOL.com, djwolfonline at gmail.com. All right, guys, let me go ahead and keep on driving down here because these fools are foolish like they always are in the morning. DJ Wolf, I'm out.